I'm going to show you today how to put together a Desmos graph. So once you've collected your data, go ahead and click on Student Desmos link and open up this blank Desmos template. Now, don't just go to desmos.com or you're going to get something that's totally blank over here and it's going to be really hard. Use the one we provide for you. Okay, so the most important thing to remember when doing a Desmos is you have to go through this step by step in order so you don't miss anything. Okay, a lot of people miss this very first step here. It says before you do anything else, label your axes. Do that first so that when you start naming your variables, it's easy and you don't end up making mistakes or mixing them up. So to label your axes, you're going to click on Graph Settings, which is that wrench tool. Okay, and you're going to just fill in your graph labels for each axis right here. Don't forget to put your units in parentheses on your axes labels to make it meaningful. Okay, once you've written both of your axes labels, go ahead and just close the wrench again by clicking on it, and you'll see that your axes are now labeled, and you can reference them as you start the next step, which is to name your variables. So read the directions. When I open up this little triangle, it's going to give me the information I need to know, which is I need to change the question mark to a single letter that represents each variable. So don't change this X over here. Don't change the Y. Don't change the little sub 1. Just click on that little question mark and change it to a reasonable variable. And for your X values, see, now you can look right over here. On my X axis, I have frequency. So let's use F. On my y-axis, I have wavelength, so let's use W. Remember, Y to the sky. You know that your y-axis is the one that's going up and down. Just remember, Y to the sky. Okay, now a couple things you might have problems with. If you accidentally erased your 1 or you clicked on it and it became a full-size 1, all you need to do is just type a 1 again and it'll automatically go and become a sub 1 for you. But you have to have those little sub 1s. It's just a little Desmos idiosyncrasy. They have to be there. Okay, so next step is plot your data. Hit the triangle again to open up this section. Again, read these instructions. Change the question marks to the same letters you selected for your variables. Okay, so up here I selected F and W, so I'm going to change those in the same order to those same two variables. Okay, now I'm ready to put in my data. So I'm going to quickly enter my data. Okay, hopefully you're pausing this video and entering your own data into your Desmos as we go. Okay, now you may notice that your data is crunched down in the corner. If that's the case, you need to zoom in on it. The important trick that is super easy for you guys with your touch screens is that you guys are able to zoom in only one direction if necessary. So say you only want to stretch your data horizontally, you would just stretch your axis by stretching your fingers right along the axis. And if you want to stretch it vertically, you could stretch it right along the vertical axis. So your next step is to put your error bars onto your graph. So to do that, we open up this little triangle again. The easiest way to do error bars is instead of trying to mess with this slider, I find it easier to just click and type in your uncertainties. So that one is 0.1, this one is 0.2, you should put yours in. And then your last step is going to be your line of best fit. Okay. Follow the instructions. It says hit the plus above and insert an expression. So I'm going to go to plus and choose expression. I'm going to get a blank box here where I'm going to write in the formula for the line that's going to work as a line of best fit. So now you need to use your knowledge of patterns. For this particular set of data, this is clearly an inverse pattern, which we know it follows the format y equals a over x. So for this particular graph, instead of y, of course, I use W for wavelength equals A over, and instead of x, I'm going to use F for frequency. Okay, depending on what pattern your points fall in, you may need to use proportional, linear, quadratic, or horizontal line. When you put in your mathematical model, it's going to give you the option to add an A slider. You should always choose the A slider. And then you'll be able to use the A slider to find the A value for your points. In this case, 3.8. To find your mathematical model, you need to use substitution. If A equals 3.8, okay, then A equals 3.8 up here, and you can plug 3.8 in for the A value, and you have your mathematical model now of W equals 3.8 over F. Okay, so before I forget that, and before I close my Desmos and forget to save it, I'm going to record that right here where it says graph with mathematical model, W equals 3.8 over F. So you don't forget to take a moment, record your mathematical model so you don't lose it. Okay, now if you haven't signed in, you should sign in because that's going to allow you to save changes. You don't want to lose this in case you forgot to write your mathematical model down. Go ahead and click save. Once you click save, you'll be able to open any saved graphs by clicking on this triple bar menu, and you'll see all of these saved graphs. So the very last step is to export your graph onto your Google Doc for your lab report. So to do that, I like to set up my Google Doc first and get it into position because once I'm dragging my graph, I don't want to have to try to scroll up and down. So I'm going to go to Share Graph, Export Image. It's going to open up a new window, okay? And I'm going to just click and drag this graph, hover over my Google Doc, which is going to open it up, and then I'm just going to simply drop it in. Now, you can kind of see there I've got a blue cursor, and as I move this up and down, that blue cursor moves. That's going to indicate exactly where the graph is going to drop. So I haven't released it yet. I'm going to line it up right where I want it, and then I'm going to just release, and it's going to drop it in exactly the right spot. And it drops in really large. I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller so it's a little more manageable. Okay, and it's okay if it's split between pages, but so here you have your graph with question A, you have your mathematical model now, and you have your graph. All right, hope that helps. Good luck.